Hello and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Sharon and I do reviews of media, TV, films, all of that kind of stuff. I also do reactions too. So if you're interested in any of that, go check out my channel. But today we are reviewing Captain America Brave New World. I have literally just got back from the cinema less than an hour ago from seeing this film. Before we get into the review, this will be a spoiler-free, slightly minor spoilers that we've seen from the trailers. So if you don't care about stuff that's been in the trailers, come watch my review with me. I will keep it spoiler-free as much as possible, but there will be a few teasers here and there. But if you don't want any sort of spoilers, then get off the internet because there will be some and you will spoil yourself. Here is my honest review. Okay, bye. Nope, bye. Okay then, that was just a tease. So, my initial reaction, is accurate. However, I do have a lot more to say than that. Just for context, when I went to go see Captain America Brave New World, I watched it at a ScreenX, which is a 270-degree cinema in the UK, where you have screens on each side. So that might have affected some of my review, but I will try and stay away from that because I'm reviewing ScreenX as a separate video. If you want to watch that, I will release it at the same time as this. So, what is the film about? Well, according to IMDb, Sam Wilson, the new Captain America, finds himself in the middle of an international incident and must discover the motive behind a nefarious global plan. Did it live up to that synopsis? And kinda, yeah, it did. Did that have unexpected twists and turns in there? Kinda. There is a lot more to this movie than has been promoted. There is also a lot less of stuff that has been promoted that is in this film, aka Red Hulk. As we all know from the trailer, Ross becomes Red Hulk. I wouldn't say get your hopes up to see lots of that, because we didn't. It's a bit like the Iron Man film, where we're like, oh, it's Iron Man, and we don't get to see Iron Man until much later on in the film. So just be aware that there isn't much of the Red Hulk, but what we did see, I very much enjoyed. So the special effects were pretty good. There wasn't that many of the transitional ones, so I think that felt a bit TV because they used camera effects to bring the transition, so I guess it led with the budget. So it felt a bit TV at times with some of the transitions between Hulk, Red Hulk and Ross. Getting into the film, they kind of give us a bit of a recap on a few things that we need to get going if you've not seen all of the Marvel films for a while. So there's a bit of backstory about President Ross and all of his previous appearances in the MCU, which I thought was very good because it has been a while since I've seen the Hulk and Iron Man and all of the earlier films. I felt like that was needed, especially for the more casual fans, and also for people like me who like Marvel but have not seen it in a while. So good points there. The first big fight scene that we had was your typical Captain America / Falcon fight scene, and it just kind of got into it, on a mission, blah 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 blah. And to me it just felt, oh yeah, this is a Marvel film. It kind of felt quite average, and then it started getting into the plot. What I found with President Ross is that there were a few moments in this film where I kind of connected it to what's happening in America right now with Trump and Musk.
I'm a wartime president.
I tried not to think about that, but the releasing it around this time was kind of, bad timing.
You're not Steve Rogers.
However, Ross isn't as bad as Trump, let's just put it that way. And I may have lost a few viewers now. Bye guys. There was a moment in it where they was like, oh, okay, so you must be Elon then.
Who's playing who?
Oh boy. So, what do I think of Captain America, aka Anthony Mackie? I think he did a pretty good job because he talked about like having to live up to the Captain America name in this. The fact that he didn't have the super soldier serum, which at times you think, you don't have it? You seem pretty strong for somebody who doesn't have it. And then obviously he's got his armour and stuff. So there was a few times like that where it was just like, are you sure you haven't taken it? But then other times you're like, oh, okay, you haven't, okay. And that was a whole thing about it, whether he made the right decision in taking the serum or not, because obviously, especially now we have this big massive Red Hulk. It felt more like a generic action film than it did Marvel in certain ways. And I'm not sure if that had anything to do with just the lack of MCU cast, because there weren't many people, like there weren't many guest stars in this from other MCU films or TV shows. It was almost like its own little standalone movie in a way, with just like little connections to the MCU. So I don't know if that was why it just feels about meh, because it just felt more like a generic action film. And I think not having as many connections to the MCU didn't give me as an emotional connection to it as it would have. Saying that, there were definitely 2 moments in this film where I could feel a little tear welling up, but I will not talk about those, but just to let you know, there is a few heartfelt moments in there that's just very, very small, but they were brief, and everything else just kind of was a bit, okay, it's an action film. There's at one point during this film where I just felt like the background music played a really good part of it. I just felt like, oh, this is really good. So just keep an ear out for the music as well, because I think the music worked really well with the film. Now we're introduced to a couple of new characters in this film, including Sidewinder and the new Falcon. Since now the old Falcon is now Captain America, we need a new Falcon. And to be honest, the new Falcon, he was okay. He was basically the man in the chair a lot of the time, and then was like, actually now I'm gonna get involved, okay. It's like, okay. He was okay. He felt like an old-fashioned sidekick. It's a bit like, oh, okay, here comes Robin. You know, kind of like that. Then we have Sidewinder, and I know him as Stan Edgar from The Boys. I can't pronounce his first name, but Giancarlo Esposito. Is that how you say his name? He obviously is an amazing actor, and he did an amazing job at his role, but it was very underused and it seemed to be there for the sake of being there. Now, post-credit scenes. I was kind of disappointed, honestly. It's a minor spoiler, but there's no spoilers involved. The end credit scene takes place in the same location as the final scene of the film. So I felt like that could have either been a mid-credit scene or just the end of the film. I don't feel like it was worth the wait through the credits to just watch that, and it was like, usually with end credit scene there's some sort of revelation or a tease or something for the next film. This just felt very, I was at it. It wasn't even funny like the Spider-Man one where I just had Captain America talking about.
And you wonder why you waited so long for something so disappointing.
But yeah, I think it was just very like, oh, is that it? I would suggest skipping the credits and watching it on YouTube if you can find it. Or go toilet and come back and then watch it. There was a tease, but there was no specific tease. It was just like, it just felt very, very generic. I was like, okay, whatever you say. Might have to bleep a bit. So you might have had 2 bleeps there. I wouldn't stay for the credits. There is no mid-credit scene either. It just has the stylish credits, It's not even that stylish, it was just blocks of colour. And then it had Captain America logo, and then went to the rolling credits. So it's not worth staying for, really. So where do I rate this in terms of MCU films? It's above the Hulk, but that's not hard to do. It's above Iron Man 2. Is it a film that I will rewatch? Probably if I was doing a rewatch of Marvel. I wouldn't choose and sit and watch this film if you go, let's choose a Marvel film to watch. This is not one I would go to. But I'd say I'd probably give it a 6 out of 10. It wasn't the most thrilling of action films. It wasn't the most original. But it was enjoyable whilst I was watching it, for the most part. The first part of the film wasn't as good as the second part of the film. We're getting into minor spoileratory territory time here, so if that's not what you're here for, if you don't want any spoilers, you can head off now. But what films do you really need to watch before watching this film? You need to watch The Hulk beforehand. Refresh your memory of that film, especially if you've not seen it in a long time like me. You need to watch The Eternals. There is a major plot point with The Eternals, all the consequences from that film. You need to watch Falcon Winter Soldier, and obviously you'll need to have watched all the Avengers films as just a general know what's going on. If you have any other recommendations of what you need to watch, please put them below in the comments. Well, that's it for my review. If you want to know what Screen X is, I have made a review talking about what it is, what it entails, and whether it's worth it or not. So go watch that video, and I will see you next time. Bye!